Hello, music students. Welcome to Miss E's Music Room. Miss E is here with Koda the Dog, and we are going to do a deep dive into the Star Spangled Banner. Some of us know it as our national anthem, and we're going to talk about it today, and we're going to talk about the poem a little bit, background of the poem, and we're going to sing it at the end. Let's take a look. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Hey, I can see that flag. In the dawn's early light, I can see it. As the sun comes up, I can see my flag. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. Hey, I saw that flag last night when it was starting to get dark, and now I can see it again this morning, and I'm very proud about it. Whose broad stripes and bright stars? I think that has to do with stars and stripes. So my flag has stars and stripes on it. Through the perilous fight. Hey, I can see my flag, even though right now there's a war going on and it's kind of a scary time. I can see my flag and it gives me hope. Through the perilous fight. Perilous means dangerous. Or the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Ramparts are places that you would hide or walls that you would build to keep yourself safe during a war or a fight, and they could see it even beyond those walls that they had built to bunker down and stay safe. Or the ramparts we watched, I can still see my flag and it is gallantly streaming, which means it's blowing in the wind in a beautiful, heroic way. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, rockets, bombs, scary stuff, man. And I know it. And that's scary. And those people fighting the war back then were very scared. Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. So even though those bombs and those cannons were going off, it gave me hope because through the light of the cannons and bombs and fire, I could see my flag, and it gave me hope to carry on. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Or the land of the free, that's going to be people like you and me that are free and able to live the lives as Americans that we so choose in the pursuit of happiness. The home of the brave are the brave men and women that have fought to keep our country safe. The land of the free, you and me. The home of the brave, the people that have served and have helped us stay free. Isn't that cool? So I hope that makes you understand the story a little bit more of the poem of what Francis Scott Key was telling us about. I'm going to say goodbye so you can see my pictures. The Star Spangled Banner. The words were written by Francis Scott Key, and you can see his birth and death date here. And the music was by Stafford Smith. And I think Stafford probably only has one R there. Let's give him one R instead of two. Stafford Smith, and we can see his birth date and his death date there. So the music came much later. In fact, the music was never written for the Star Spangled Banner. They later thought, hey, you know what? Let's take this cool poem written by Francis Scott Key and let's add music to it. And they found this music that just fit perfectly. He wrote it as a poem. So he wrote the poem of the Star Spangled Banner after a battle that he witnessed in Baltimore. The music was added later, as we have said. And here is an original draft, what it looked like when he was writing out with his ink quill, if you can imagine, the 4 verses of the Star Spangled Banner. Key's poem had 4 verses, but the first verse is definitely the most popular. That's the one we sing. Let's talk about why. Let's take a look at verse 2. Or means over. As we go through, I want you to identify some words maybe you wouldn't know what that means. And then if you didn't know what it means, maybe you could go back and figure out what they mean. Let's do verse 2. On the shore dimly seen through the mists of the deep, where the foe's haughty host in dread silence reposes. What is that which the breeze or the towering steep, or means over. As it fitfully blows, half conceals, half discloses. Now it catches the gleam of the morning's first beam, in full glory reflected, now shines in the stream. 'Tis the Star Spangled Banner, oh long may it wave, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. I bet you recognize that last phrase right there, or the land. And don't forget, or means over. Now, I bet you could come through and find out some of these important words like foe, haughty, reposes. So if any of these words look interesting to you and you want to look them up, I challenge you to do that. Let's talk about the etiquette for singing the national anthem or the Star Spangled Banner. Etiquette is a fancy word Miss E likes to use for manners. So we have etiquette or manners for when we hear people sing or we're singing the national anthem. These are things that our country likes for us to do when we sing it. They might ask you to stand up. They might ask you to look at the flag. They might ask you to take off your hat. They might ask you to put your hand on your chest. They might ask you to salute if you have served in the military. They're going to want you to listen if someone else is singing out of respect to that person singing. Or you might even get to sing along if everyone is singing and you can sing too. So with all of those things in mind, how about we sing the national anthem or the Star Spangled Banner together? So we're going to stand on up. You can put your hand over your chest. If you don't have a flag to salute, you can pretend that you see one. And let's sing along. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. From the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Great job, music class. I hope you learned a lot today about the Star Spangled Banner and that you'll visit us again here in the music room.